Hey guys, Harry here, back again with another Bricklaying vlog, and we're on the garage for the 4th out of 5 videos, so this is the 4th part, just me running in the other side of the gable. After recording this, I got rained off, so we had 2 days on this garage, no, 1.5 days actually, on this, 2 days on this garage on this week. And we only got 2.5 days in for the whole week. We broke off doing something else for half a day, and then after that I lost 2.5 days. So yeah, it's weather for you. Anyway, today's topic, we're going to talk about traditional laying of bricks, the traditional method. Obviously you can see in this video I'm doing pick and dip, but I'm going to talk about sort of how to increase your traditional method speed and whether pick and dip helps you increase your method of traditional, and whether freehand corner building increases your running in speed, and etc. etc. I've had a couple of videos about obviously I do bang on about pick and dip. I'm not gonna lie, I do bang on about it too much, but that's only because I think it's fantastic. But yeah, I've always laid traditional ever since up to 4 months ago. So I've been laying bricks almost 11 years, and for only 4 months of those 11 years I've been doing pick and dip. So less of the time I've been laying traditional, which I get like I've got an odd comment. I know there are some of them are malicious, but some are constructive criticism, and I'm completely open to stuff like that because it does make you better. You know what I mean? So a lot of people say, a lot of people have said, because obviously there isn't much footage of me laying traditional method on my YouTube channel. I think I've got one video where I do a little bit of it, and then the rest of the time it's pick and dip. So a lot of people presume that I can't really lay bricks fast or efficient with the traditional method, and I'd like to say I can lay bricks pretty fast. My brick count PB traditional is 800 in a day, and then my brick count PB with pick and dip is 950, and on the day I did that 800 traditional, I probably worked an hour less. So you could say I could have maybe matched it. I could have maybe matched 900. Could have got into the 900s in both if I'd have worked a little bit longer on that day doing traditional. But I was using an 11-inch trowel when I was doing the traditional method, and now I'm using a 10-inch. And when it comes to the traditional method, it all depends on the type of work you're in. Just like when you're doing pick and dip, it all depends on the type of work you're doing, and obviously it depends on having the right mortar, the right bricks. Obviously all the things that apply to getting plenty of bricks down the right runs of work, which I was on. I've been on probably better bits of work since that I did that 800, and I'm probably quite a bit faster. So I'd like to challenge my traditional speed again. I like to do some more traditional laying, and the only reason I do pick and dip in all my videos is because it's dead easy. It's a lot less effort than doing traditional method, and it's a lot less thinking. You know what I mean? Whereas with like a traditional style laying, you've got to make sure your spread's bang on. A lot of the time you're going to make sure you're laying your spread perfect. Whereas with pick and dip, you have a little bit of leeway to squeeze out that excess mortar and then just pick up another one. You know what I mean? So you're not relying on making sure you've got enough perp joint out of your squeeze out for your next brick. It's all taken care of in one motion, which is, it's more, I'd say pick and dip's more repeatable than traditional. Throughout a day, you know what I mean? You might be able to lay a lot of bricks in an hour or two, traditional really quick. Like if you watch the guys doing the Spec Mix 500 in Las Vegas, the speed bricklaying competition, a lot of the guys do the front tipping method. You put the joint on the brick while it's on the wall, and that's how I lay traditional, to be honest, for the majority of my time. I always used to put the joint on the front of the brick in my hand. I did a stint doing that for a while, and then when it's low down I tend to just put it on the brick while it's on the wall. Just front tip it, especially on boundary walls where you're not having to fill the back of the joint. I just front tip it with one little scrape front tip. And if you've seen any of my corner building videos, I haven't actually recorded many on actual walls, but when I'm doing just normal standard building or traditional style on like a boundary wall, I just front tip it. It fills the joint just as good as pick and dip. Probably not as much, to be fair, but is a a quicker motion than trying to put a full joint on traditional. Obviously, with my channel, I'm not trying. With my channel, I know I bang on about pick and dip and how much better I find it, and I'm not saying you have to do pick and dip. I'm just saying that it is faster, and obviously those bricklayers on YouTube, those bricklayers on site, should I say, not on YouTube, and we're all on price, majority of us. If you can lay more bricks per day, you're instantly earning more per day, and I just don't know why you wouldn't do it. But obviously, it is a skill. It is a skill like traditional is a skill. So I'll have to emphasize this a lot. Just because someone, can do pick and dip efficiently doesn't mean they can't do traditional efficiently. So, like myself, I got pretty good doing traditional. I got pretty quick, but I instantly switched when I found out that pick and dip was quicker. I switched to that, and I was getting equally as efficient with the traditional style. Obviously, I'm not as practiced in it as I am traditional, and obviously the reason why I'm a big advocate of building corners is because I'm actually quite good with laying traditional method. You know what I mean? I can lay bricks to a level. I can lay bricks level and plumb without the level most of the time. I put the level on and it's within a shout a lot of the time, and that's from years and years and years of laying in traditional style. Obviously the act of dragging your brick back and sliding the brick into place as opposed to pressing the brick down, which you do in with the traditional style, is a very different motion. Obviously, especially when you're doing traditional with a bigger trowel, you're making sure your spread's bang on, and then you're running in. It's a different flow. The day goes a bit different. Laying one at a time, it's a different. It feels different when you're laying. You know what I mean? Picking a brick up every time, turning. You're doing more rotations, in a sense, when you're doing one brick at a time. But then again, you're not picking as much mortar up at a time. So there's trade-offs. And I am going to probably one day bite the bullet and just do a full day using traditional method. But it's a lot more effort. You know what I mean? It's a lot more effort in a day, and I'd have to put a hell of a lot more effort in to lay the same amount of bricks that I would do with pick and dip. So it don't really make much sense other than from a YouTube standpoint, varying the content. I do lay traditional now and again when I'm running out of gobbo and I need to get a course through or two. I'll just go back to furrowing the spread and being conservative with my mortar. But in general, it halves the speed you go a lot of the time, unless you're at ideal reaching height, so at waist height, or you ain't got, especially like on garages where you're filling the joint all the time. That really slows you down. Putting the joint on the brick with traditional. Whereas on a boundary wall, you can front tip to the Spec Mix 500 style, which all the guys do over there, and it doesn't slow you down too much at all. You can basically mimic your pick and dip speed on a boundary wall at the right height. I'd definitely say as you get higher, you get slower traditional, whereas with pick and dip, your speed don't drop off as much. So I could probably see myself recording a clip one day of me just doing traditional, and I'll probably keep playing traditional until I get to around about belly height, chest height, and then I'll probably switch back to pick and dip. To be honest, it just doesn't make much sense struggling above your head, laying traditional, because you can't put the joint on the brick on the wall when you're higher up. You have to actually put the joint on the back of the brick or on the front of the brick, whichever you feel more comfortable with, which does slow you down considerably. You're doing a lot of motions buttering it, and then you're lifting the brick to the spread, and then because of the way the spread's been sat on a longer variant style, it goes a little bit harder, so you're having to tap the brick more. Whereas when you're doing a pick and dip, you just start you're just laying your spread brick on it, slides straight into place, and you might do a couple of taps, but you're not doing that extra perp movement. You're not, it's a lot slower traditional when you're going higher up. It is sometimes easy to control. I'm not gonna lie. I went back, I did a few a couple of courses today doing it traditional, and it is more natural of a way to lay a brick. But overall throughout a day, pick and dip's just less wear on your joints. Also, I've had people say, it doesn't suit them, it doesn't suit the way, and that's not because it doesn't suit them, it's because they haven't practiced enough, and some people pick things up quicker than others. I've even had, an old guy who taught me when I was an apprentice, and, he was fucking, he's as traditional as they come when it comes to bricklaying, and, stuck in his ways, and he even now does pick and dip, a bit of a long bed variant of it. And he can't sing its praises high enough, to be honest, because he says, like, I can't believe I haven't been doing this for the last fucking 35 years or last 40 years, you know what I mean? So it's one of them things that even anyone, no matter how long you've been laying traditional, anyone can pick up pick and dip, anyone can give it a go, and blast a few extra bricks in blast a few, even if that means you're laying a few more bricks a day, or laying the same amount of bricks in a day, and then going home earlier. You know what I mean? So, saving time. As you get older as well, you want less movement. Less wrist action, smaller trowel. There's, what I mean. I made a video on the big trowels, but obviously when I made a video, with a caveat about the big trowels when, it has its time and place, like the footings where you're always stood over your work, so you haven't got to lift your trowel up high. Like, boundary walls, like Spec Mix 500 height, where you're laying it up to sort of like chest height, that's ideal for a bigger trowel. But when you start getting higher and higher, chest, neck height, head above your head on milk crate, standing on milk crates and stuff, there's no sense in, getting the super spade out and lifting it above your head, straining your shoulders, go back to your 10-inch, that's what I'm going to be working on in these coming weeks. I'm going to do some recording doing the Spec Mix style, traditional, which is my favourite style, traditional method. I'm going to make some videos doing that, and I'm going to do some videos with a long spread pick and dip with a big trowel, and then we're going to transition back to the small trowel for corner building. I prefer the small trowel for corner building now, which I said that I was going to use the big trowel for. Actually, I do prefer the small trowel, and we're going to go back to the small trowel for overhead work and higher reaching courses. So yeah, so hopefully that cleared up a few of my few things about traditional method and why I don't do it as much anymore. But I'm going to start making more varied content, and it should appeal to more people, because not everyone wants to lay bricks pick and dip style, I understand, and I want to show different. I want to show more than one way to do it. You know what I mean? So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you're enjoying. We're getting well into the 600s now. Let's shoot for 750. Let's shoot for the fucking stars. All right, guys, appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.